Today's video is all about what to do before you launch your business into the world. This is something that I wish I knew years before I started my business. Instead, I ended up kind of winging it in the beginning, which is, I guess, fine. But if you want to save yourself some headaches, some hassles, and the delay of just trial and error, then this video is for you. So first things first, when starting a business, especially as a mom with littles, who's in that boat with me? Time is not guaranteed for us mothers. And so we've got to fit business in the time that we have to give it. And so first things first, this is a high performance tip, by the way. When you're making a plan, give yourself a week of observation time. Hey, maybe this is even a science tip. Give yourself the opportunity to observe yourself in your lifestyle, in the state of your house, in the state of mind that you're in across 7 days, and notice what's typical. How do you wake up each of those 7 days? What does it feel like moving through your day and all the demands placed on you, the mental load, the burdens of parenthood and entrepreneurship? What does that all feel like? And then when you're juggling, house chores and homework and things like that as kids grow up, then it just becomes a new challenge to navigate around. So observe yourself in the first week before you start to plan, to give yourself an idea of what the challenges might be when you come up with your plan. You want to come in with a little bit of data, a little bit of stats, a little bit of historical information so that you know, hey, this is what I might come up against. How can I work around that? And I believe this is actually the missing piece that frustrates most entrepreneurs when they come up against something that failed, or it feels like a failure, or you started something and you weren't able to finish it. I believe this is the missing piece. It's that you didn't give yourself time to observe. You just went out there thinking that you're, 2 years in the past, that you're that person from back then, really not considering who you are today and the things on your plate, the things of importance that fill you up that you don't want to neglect. And when you're honest with yourself about that, things are so much easier. In the beginning, I wasn't honest with myself about that. With a newborn, I was thinking I was still just married with no kids. I was acting as if, but yet I had a newborn. I had new responsibilities. And granted, it took up my whole thought process being this baby's mother. So there was a lot of identity crisis, a tug of war. As my kids got older and I became a mom of littles instead of mom of toddlers, well, I have a little bit more time, a little bit more room to start to put in a little bit more stuff. But when I was working alongside a newborn at my hip, then things looked a lot different. Okay, so let's get into the juicy stuff when making a plan. And I always like to say, work in 3-month increments. This is also a high performance tip. When you work in 3-month increments, you're isolating your attention for the focus during that time. So for your focus, your overarching focus, and you can kind of break it down by month. So month 1 has this focus, month 2 has this focus, month 3 has this focus. And that helps you just really isolate and narrow in on, okay, this is kind of what I want to accomplish by the end of these 90 days, because life changes so fast that you don't want to give yourself 12 months to kind of think, oh, this is what I want to accomplish by, at the end of this year. That's great for a big vision goal. It's something that I tell my clients to think about, a 12-month big vision goal, and kind of like get that picture in their head. And then we work backwards to break down what that's going to look like. And yes, we are working in 3-month increments throughout those 12 months. So we're at the start of 90 days, okay? So 3 months, the world is your oyster. What do you want to create? And so here are 5 ways moms can run a business like a boss. Decide how you want to live. So what's the overall vibe that you want to have in your workspace, your workflow, with your family, quality time with that? So it's kind of looking at a 360 picture of your day in and out, okay? So decide how you want to live. What's your lifestyle like right now? What are the age of your kids? And is this realistic given that criteria? Number 2, decide how you want to create your business within this time frame. So what do you want your business to look like each and every day in, day out? What do you want to wake up to do? What do you want to go to sleep at night feeling? Do you want to have client calls on a certain day? Do you want your days to have more rhythm, more flow to them so that you kind of move in and out of motherhood and entrepreneurship with ease? Well, then that's something to really make known and make clear and say to yourself, okay, this is how I want to feel as an entrepreneur. And then also you've got your data from those 7 days of observation, right? So what is the time that you have to give it? So if you're not working with 8-hour days to give to your business, then don't plan like you are. If you're not full time, you're not working 40 hours a week on your business, then don't plan like you are. Think about it in terms of the time you have to give your business. When I had an infant and a 1-year-old, time was really limited. So I had to look at what a typical day for me looked like, and I had to build in maybe an hour here and there, which amounted to maybe 4 hours a week of time that I could dedicate to my business. For me, I was pivoting, not starting a business. I was pivoting into mompreneurship. And so my thing was just, I scaled back on the number of client calls in a week, and I created one membership group call. Okay, 3, now it's time to make the plan. Considering your priorities over the next 3 months, what do you want to accomplish? Make your plan by outlining how it might look. So if I've got project A is social media, I want to be better about posting daily on social media. Well, then you're going to have to figure out like, okay, well, what's most important when it comes to social media? Probably understanding my content pillars, probably understanding who I'm speaking to so that my work, my social media posts are more effective at reaching them, at talking to them, at converting them. And then it might look like, okay, well, I've also got to do some surveying and polling and asking my audience, hey, is this resonating? And so getting some real-time data as you start to execute on, say, that project, social media, within these 3 months. So step back, what is your overall objective for the 3 months? Then break that down into 3 monthly focuses. And that's going to be 3 different areas of focus. So social media, email, and maybe a third one is starting to pitch yourself to podcasts and interviews. That's actually a typical logical launch plan because it takes into account all the back end work, the behind the scenes work that you're doing to promote yourself and to talk about your products, and then you're ready for the interview circuit. So you're welcome. Next thing is to schedule the plan. So put it in the calendar. This is so important. So if it's not in the calendar, it doesn't happen. It doesn't exist in my world. And I've got a shared family calendar with my family, my husband right now, because I've just got littles, and their programs, if there's something that they're doing, then, we put it in the calendar. And then I've got my business calendar. Now, if anything should overlap in our family time, then that business event or opportunity goes into the family calendar because it's going to be taking me away from my family time, my home life. And so when you look at your calendar, consider both calendars. You've got your home calendar and your business calendar. Your business calendar might be shared with, your whole team, your VA or whoever is helping you out. And then your home life calendar is everyone at home. And calendar is such a big thing that it's its own module inside my Leap to Launch Accelerator, because we've got to be better about scheduling ourselves into our lives, because we want to build a dream business, right? We want to build a business that fulfills us and sustains us and brings us energy and purpose, but yet we're forgetting to plan a life too. And so we end up booking ourselves so much in this business that we forget that, hey, we're also a mom and parenting is also a priority. And if I'm spread so thin and stressed out over here, then I'm really not going to be a good mom over here. And then, yay, you made it to the last step. Stick to the plan. What is necessary here? Accountability, community, somebody to bounce ideas off of, a mentor, things like that. So you need hard, fast accountability. You need real-time community feedback that you can execute on. So based on what I just heard from my target audience, based on what I heard from my mentor, based on what I heard from my peers in this space, I know I need to be doing X, Y, and Z. So if I'm talking about maybe month 1, project 1, social media, then it might look like, okay, well then I'm going to do a little bit of research on social media. What are the trends? Maybe spend, an hour on discovering what that looks like, and then build your social media content calendar. And then as you start to lay it out, lay the groundwork, post a couple days here and there, and you find yourself consistently posting, then it's time to look at, okay, well, what do my insights look at? Insights are really negligible until you have some data to build off of. Don't think that one post is going to give you all the insights you need. You almost need like at least 9 weeks of consistent social media posting to get insights that matter. So just for now, focus on having your audience being spoken to, the pain or problem being spoken to, and then offering the result, the promise, the future, the could be scenario, which you would be offering in your product or service, right? You're helping them solve that, move from problem A to solution B, moving from A to B. In that same way that you're helping your clients do that, you want to do that. You want to stick to the plan. You want to move from A to B within these 3 months. And so a lot of that is mindset, okay? Really 90% of business is mindset. And so if you do the steps before this one right here, stick to the plan, if you do all the steps before this, then you are going to have the mindset that's really driven behind getting to this goal, meeting this objective. Okay, you're going to have the mindset around that, and the energy and the habits, the behaviors, the things that are going to get you to that point, right? At least you're going to know somewhat of that. But sticking to the plan is another thing. Staying consistent on that plan is another thing. And this is where accountability comes in. This is where expert guidance and mentorship. So if you don't have that, look for it, find it, seek it out. To be held accountable is such a huge, huge thing that it is part of keeping the mindset, that 90%, going strong, keeping the motivation, keeping the momentum. And so coupled together, mindset with accountability, you're unstoppable. And so that wraps it up. Let's recap all 5 ways to become a mompreneur boss. 1, decide how you want to live. Decide how you want to run your business and the time you have to give it. Make a plan, schedule the plan, and stick to the plan. So I want to hear from you. As you're starting this business or this side hustle, what are you finding is getting in the way of your success? What are you most met with as far as obstacles in the way of your getting to where you want to go? Okay, I'd love to hear it. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.